Today's podcast is about Malaysia. We're going to talk about why the nomad elite chooses Malaysia over many other countries. And we're going to talk about the different options that you have if you want to move to Malaysia full time. Malaysia is a country located in Southeast Asia, and it consists of West Malaysia and East Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur and Penang are both located in West Malaysia, while Kuching and Kota Kinabalu are both located in East Malaysia on the island of Borneo. When people think about Malaysia, they think about Kuala Lumpur, a very vibrant, very energetic, very great city. But this is not the only location that's available to the nomad elite. In fact, Malaysia has so much more to offer than just Kuala Lumpur. Don't get me wrong, I really love Kuala Lumpur, but city life is not for everyone, and not everyone needs a big metropolitan in order to be happy. So the good thing about Malaysia is that it has rainforests, coastline, mountains, and also island life if you want a more quiet, a more relaxed life. And people who are from a bustling city will also be happy because they have the choice in Kuala Lumpur. The streets of Malaysia offer food which comes from different cultures, from the Malay, Chinese, and Indian. And of course, you're also going to find Thai and Taiwanese, Vietnamese, you name it. Over the course of the year, Malaysia is full of cultural events that will stimulate your desires and deliver what you're looking for in Malaysia. Based on my personal experience, I do believe that Malaysia is the country in Southeast Asia that offers the best value for your money. It's a very affordable country to live in, and it's politically and economically stable, so you don't need to worry about conflicts or not being able to generate business opportunity while in Malaysia. In fact, if you're looking to run workshops, if you're looking to build teams, you can not only do that in Kuala Lumpur, but you can also do that in a place like Penang or Kuching. So it's absolutely no surprise that the nomad elite has been going to Malaysia in recent years. Let's talk about the cost of living. If you come from North America or Europe, you will find Malaysia very inexpensive. Here's a quick cost of living comparison between Kuala Lumpur and Los Angeles, California. Consumer prices in Los Angeles are 103% higher than in Kuala Lumpur. That is without rent. Consumer prices, including rent in Los Angeles, California, are 178.48% higher than in Kuala Lumpur. Rent prices in Los Angeles, California are 418% higher than in Kuala Lumpur. And groceries in Los Angeles are 90.96% higher than in Kuala Lumpur. So you can imagine that if you have a good income, I'm not talking about a local income, if you have a Western income, you have much more purchasing power in a country like Malaysia than you have back home. A meal at an inexpensive restaurant costs you about $3.55 in Kuala Lumpur. Now, remember that these numbers that I'm giving you right now, they're based on data entries from the website Numbeo. In Los Angeles, a meal at an inexpensive restaurant costs you $20. Meal for two people, mid-range restaurant, free course, costs only $18.94 in Kuala Lumpur and as much as $80 in Los Angeles, California. Now, you have to understand that not everything is cheaper in Malaysia. In fact, if you want something that's imported like an exotic car, or you want something like milk, which of course we need on a daily basis, then those goods and services, they're going to be more expensive in Malaysia because they're not local. As I was researching apartments the other day, I learned that I can get a 150 square meter penthouse for about $600 in Penang, Malaysia. Now, how much would the same cost me in Texas if I wanted it in San Antonio? You know, it would for sure at least cost me 4 to 5 times that figure, and very possibly even more than that. So I think Malaysia is a great place for someone who wants really a high quality of life, really a high standard at a low price. Another plus about Malaysia is that good Wi-Fi is available all over the country. So not only in West Malaysia, but also in East Malaysia. Generally speaking, you can get really good, reliable internet. You can choose an internet provider like fiber optic, which is very common. And Malaysia also offers a very strong cafe culture, meaning a lot of digital nomads, the nomad elite, as well as local entrepreneurs work from local cafes. So it's very common for people to do that. And with that said, it will also be much easier for you to make friends when you're hanging out at a cafe, at a co-working space. In terms of language, because I know this is always a big concern for people because nobody wants to move to a country where they can't get by with English. Malaysia is a place where you can definitely survive by just speaking English. Of course, it's always advisable to learn the local language, especially if you intend to stay in the country for a longer period of time. But if you just want to hang out in Malaysia for, say, 3 to 6 months per year and want to spend the other time of the year somewhere else, then maybe you don't want to learn the local language. But you can if you want, but generally speaking, in Malaysia, you can definitely get by with just speaking English. The average person is fluent in English and they will not have any problems understanding your North American accent, and I also don't think that you will have any problems understanding them. This is especially true in the major cities. No doubt that in rural areas, you're probably going to have a tougher time getting by with English. But if you want to learn the local language, you can learn Malay or Mandarin. You have to understand that Malaysia consists of multiple cultures. You have the Malay, you have the Chinese, and you have the Indians. So, of course, you have multiple languages as well. One of the things that Westerners are usually worried about when it comes to moving to a country like Malaysia is healthcare. Well, the good news is that healthcare is not only very affordable in Malaysia, but it's also very good. In fact, some of the best hospitals in the world are based in Malaysia these days. And to those of you who are a little bit concerned about safety, wondering how safe Malaysia is when compared to a city in the United States, I can tell you that any Malaysian city is going to be much safer than most US cities. And if we take a look at the crime comparison between Miami, Florida and Penang, we can see that it ranks a lot better on average. I just pulled a quick crime comparison report from Numbeo, which compares the crime levels between Miami, Florida and Penang, and the results are not really surprising to me because I have been to many cities in Malaysia as well as I've been to cities in the US, and I've always felt very safe in Malaysia where I'd not necessarily felt safe in many US cities. I want to talk a little bit about which cities are available in Malaysia, because if you're hearing now that Malaysia is a great choice, you probably want to know where you could live in the country. Again, it really depends on what kind of life you want. If you move to Malaysia with your family or if you are single and you want to spend some time in the country, it's a very broad question, of course, but I want to give you some cities and the pros of each city. Firstly, we have Kuala Lumpur, which is obviously the most common destination for a digital nomad, and it's well connected with 2 international airports, and you have regular buses going to places like Singapore, and you can even take the bus up or even the train up to Penang. So infrastructure wise, I think Kuala Lumpur is fantastic, and you would get around Southeast Asia very well from Kuala Lumpur. And no doubt that one of the biggest digital nomad and remote workers communities is definitely based in Kuala Lumpur. If you like the vibrant city life, if you want to have access to shopping malls and familiar brands, and you want to have this accessibility to tons and tons of co-working spaces, then I believe you will love Kuala Lumpur. Another option is Penang, Malaysia. Again, this is also a great place. It's an island, and Georgetown is the capital city of Penang, which is known for its heritage, architecture, and exciting street culture and food. Scenery-wise, I'd say that Penang is probably more diverse than Kuala Lumpur, because in Penang, not only do you have a big city, not only do you have mountains, but you also have the coast. Because it is an island, you have definitely a lot of options when it comes to activities, and I think that a place like Penang, if you're moving to Malaysia with your family, it's very probable that a place like Penang is a better option in my opinion. There's also a big international airport which you can access to fly to most places in Southeast Asia and even to places like South Korea or Japan. Another city that has become more popular in recent years is Kota Kinabalu, which is located on the island of Borneo. The lifestyle on the island of Borneo is more laid back, and it offers a lot of opportunities for hiking, water sports, just nature activities that you may not be able to find in many other locations. Because of its proximity to the Philippines, a place like Sabah offers great exotic beaches. So if you're a beach lover, if you like to hang out at the beach and if you like to get a bit of a tan, then I think Sabah is a great choice for you. Let's talk about how you can get into Malaysia, and there are two distinct options. Option number one is the Malaysia My Second Home program. If you are familiar with it, you know that there are certain investment requirements, but what it basically offers you is a social visit pass, which is initially valid for a period of 10 years, and it is also renewable. In order to qualify for the Malaysia My Second Home program, you must meet the following program terms and conditions. In order to qualify for the Malaysia My Second Home program, you must meet following financial requirements. So if you are below 50 years old, you're required to show proof of liquid assets worth a minimum of 500,000 ringgit, and you need to have offshore income of 10,000 ringgit per month. And how you prove it is you must submit financial proof, and all applicants must provide at least 3 months of statement with each month's credit balance of minimum 500,000 ringgit. Applicants aged 50 years and above may comply with the financial proof of 350,000 ringgit in liquid assets and offshore income of 10,000 ringgit per month. So those are the requirements, and once you are approved, if you are 50 years or younger, then you want to open a fixed deposit account with 300,000 ringgit in it, and after a period of 1 year, you are allowed to withdraw up to 150,000 ringgit for approved expenses relating to house purchase, education for children in Malaysia, and medical purposes. But you must maintain a minimum balance of 150,000 ringgit from second year onwards and throughout your stay in Malaysia under this program. Should you be 50 years or older, you can choose to open a fixed deposit account of 150,000 ringgit or show proof of receiving pension from your government of at least 10,000 ringgit per month. And after a period of 1 year, applicants who fulfills the fixed deposit criterion can withdraw up to 50,000 for approved expenses related to house purchase, education for children in Malaysia, and medical purposes. Applicants must maintain a minimum balance of 100,000 ringgit from the second year onward and throughout his or her stay in Malaysia under this program. Now, I think this Malaysia My Second Home program is great for an investor that is looking for a second home. If you don't want to start a business, but you want to move to Malaysia and not have to work anymore, or you don't want to get involved with hiring employees, starting a business, I think if this is you, then making an investment of the said numbers is definitely a great option. For those looking to start a company in Malaysia and reside in Malaysia through an entrepreneur visa, the Malaysian government now offers the Malaysia Tech Entrepreneur Program, also known as MTEP, and this is perfect for tech entrepreneurs. So in order for you to qualify for this program, you must start a technology company. Could be a marketing agency, could be an outsourcing firm, you name it. And Malaysia offers a 1-year pass for new entrepreneurs and a 5-year pass for established entrepreneurs. The new entrepreneur program, which gives you a 1-year pass to Malaysia, costs you from $600. If you qualify for the established entrepreneur visa, which gives you access to the country for 5 years, it's going to cost you $1,200. So this is not a bad deal at all. I mean, there's very few countries that allow you to start a business to become a resident to live in a country for such a small amount of money. But of course, the requirement is that you start a business, you get the business up and running, and you continue to run the business while you live in Malaysia. Here are some of the requirements. So you must provide a business pitch deck. Obviously, you need to describe your proposed business idea, the market opportunity, and the plans in securing funding if need be. So they want to know why you start a business and how you intend to structure your business, and will you hire people, will you not hire people? So they want the full picture. So it's really important that you have a great business proposal to present to the government, so you increase your chances of getting approved for this great Malaysia Tech Entrepreneur Program. There's also a financial track record requirement for established entrepreneurs. So you must show business performance from the past 2 years. They want to make sure that you have a successful business before the 5-year pass is granted. For new entrepreneurs, all that is required is a 3 months personal bank statement with a minimum balance of 50,000 ringgit, which can be held in foreign accounts as well as Malaysian bank accounts. You must provide a certificate of good conduct, a document issued from the embassy or enforcement agency that states of no criminal record for an applicant in their residing country. They want to make sure that you have a clean sheet before you are allowed into the country. The last thing that you need if you're a new entrepreneur is a sponsor. So you can find a sponsor, meaning a digital hub or an MTEP recognized partner. So you can go to a digital hub, to a co-working space, and ask them if they can be your sponsor for this Malaysia Tech Entrepreneur Program, and you're going to pay them for the first month so they can issue you a 12-month bond contract. And you will find that many digital hubs will be happy to do that if you pay the first month, and the fee for this is usually less than $100. And should your application be declined, then they will cancel this bond agreement with you and also refund you the first month that you paid. So your Malaysia Digital Hub will provide a letter of offer or tenancy agreement to the government. If you're an established entrepreneur, you need to provide a declaration form from a Malaysia sponsor or individual. Like I said, it is really important that you're sure about starting a business because it needs to be a tech company. And if you have some kind of offline business, you cannot get this visa and use it to start a supermarket in Malaysia. That just won't happen. It needs to be a technology-based business. And if you have that in place, again, the capital requirement for the Malaysia Tech Entrepreneur Program is very low. So if you don't have the money for the Malaysia My Second Home program, but you are an entrepreneur, you are the Nomad Elite, and you want to start a business in the country, this is a great option for you. And before you even get any of those long-term visas, I recommend going to the country on a 90-day tourist visa, which is more than enough for you to try it out, to see different places in the country so you get an idea of where you would like to stay and who you would like to stay with. And then once you have spent the initial time in the country, you can go ahead and apply for either of these 2 options while you are in Malaysia. If you happen to be a crypto investor, I think Malaysia is a great choice as well because there is 0 long-term capital gains tax on crypto profits. So if you held your cryptocurrency for longer than 365 days, you could sell it while you're in Malaysia and pay 0% taxes on your profits. So this is not only a great option for someone who's looking to start a business or someone who's looking for a second home to spend some time in every year. Malaysia is also a great country for someone who wants to take advantage of crypto tax break. The country is very accepting to foreigners. You're welcomed, and I've personally never had an issue with not being accepted, not being wanted. I think Malaysia is one of the best countries in the Southeast Asia region when it comes to anything business related, anything lifestyle related. It is a very diverse country. It has a lot to offer. The people are very nice, and I've met very few people that did not like Malaysia. Thank you for listening to my podcast today. If you want to be notified when I upload the next episode, then please subscribe now. Also turn on alerts